Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to share with you another update. This is Eileen, the 1978 Volkswagen Westfalia van or camper. In our last video or previous video, we shared with you where we worked on replacing the driver's side rear tail light assembly and a lot of repairs to that previously collisioned area. And then across this support rail is kind of where we left off. We had the old one where we shared with you, the old one was off and the rod in behind, and then we removed it, cut it out. I don't think we showed you this actual piece. That's a support piece that goes in behind this new piece. So this was in behind, and it's quite a thick piece of steel, and it's part of the structural support that reinforces this back section. So we replicated this cut opening, and then we've replaced all of that rotted steel with new, and then we shared with you where we had the rust inhibitor applied before we put this panel. And that's one of the reasons, I think, basically personal opinion, why these Volkswagens rusted so badly is they didn't treat the back sides of the metal. So whenever you had an inner and an outer piece with new steel, the factory never thought about or didn't want to do any type of rust protection, and then through condensation and time they basically rotted from the inside out, and that's what we're seeing here. So now we have the new piece we shared with you before. This is an exact copy of the genuine Volkswagen piece, and we've welded it in the exact same locations. And then I shared with you in the other video where we weld all of the spot welds in the exact number and location that Volkswagen did back in 1978. The main reason why we do this is quite a bit more work, but structurally they did a lot of testing for crash standards and safety standards, and they knew by the number of welds what the strength and rigidity was of these buses. So we like to do the same thing, is replicate every weld the factory did for overall strength. And then when we look inside, this is another area that they're prone for rust. I guess I'll share with you this piece first. So this is part of the flat rail that meets the battery tray. And once again, you can see how much corrosion and rust there was. So there's basically nothing to weld the new battery tray to once it was removed because there's a lot of corrosion. So you can see where we've drilled out all of the spot welds that were holding the piece together. And then also the side rail, there was numerous spots that was welded together before that could be removed. And then we basically, they don't reproduce that, so we made our own piece. And then if I turn the light on here, you can see basically right across we replicated that same groove, same support piece with the same number of welds, and then we even made our own little tag here. You can notice that little tag that's going to bend over, and that's for wiring harness. It holds the wiring harness down that goes to the tail light. Now in behind, so basically we have the new rail piece, and then you can see basically that rear section. That's the back side of the passenger rear tire wheel well, and it's double walled, and it was rotted through on both this side and the other side. So basically water, everything from that back tire was splashing in and then pooling on the battery tray section or area. So we drilled all that out, we cut out the rusted steel, we made new pieces before we could put the pardon me, before we could put the battery tray in. And then I think the camera can probably pick up through the tail light. You can see where there's been quite a bit of goodness, pardon me, where there's quite a bit of work. So it was holes through here, so we made a piece, and we made another piece in here, and then there's rust inhibitor between this steel and the other side of the wheel well where we put another piece in. And I think the camera can probably pick it up. You can see where this corner piece or this rounded tail light piece has a seam, and it's welded to the other quarter panel, and you can see how many spot welds there were all across there that we had to do work on to allow the battery tray to be removed and then the new tray to come in. So later, this will be all grounded smooth where we've welded it, and then we're going to sandblast that whole section, and then once it's sandblasted and cleaned, then we'll treat it with a rust inhibitor before it's painted. So lots of fabrication work completed to this back section. So now that this section is complete, we're going to continue on around the passenger side. So we'll share with you an upcoming video as this progresses. So this is Eileen, the 1978 Volkswagen Westfalia. Thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.